Is that loud enough for everybody? No? It's over here. Good afternoon, everybody. Governor Northam, Congressman Griffith, Secretary Ball, Delegate Campbell, Delegate Hurst, Chairman Vaught, Mayor Taylor, Mayor Litz, Chairman Kaus, elected officials, and honored guests. Welcome to Wytheville and welcome to Wythe County. In a time when it's very difficult to keep secrets, I'm hopeful today is going to be a pleasant surprise for many. We're here on the best of days in economic development, and I'm happy for you to share it with us. Today, you're going to hear from leadership at the state and local level, without which economic development work would be only a simulation. With the support of our leadership in the Commonwealth and in the county, we can pursue projects confidently, knowing there's the necessary support to make them successful. Unfortunately, due to multiple circumstances, not the least of which was the weather, we were unable to host this out in Progress Park and invite as many people as we'd like, incidentally. But we do hope to host a ceremonial groundbreaking soon and re-extend an invitation to you all. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first speaker. This gentleman is no stranger to Wythe County, and in fact, one of his first official trips was to Progress Park. We're pleased to welcome back a proven leader in economic development and in public policy. That's the Commonwealth Secretary of Commerce and Trade, Brian Ball.
Thank you, David, and thank you all for being here, and thank you all for having us. We had an intermediate stop on the way in, speaking of right here at Skeeter's, and we had a wonderful lunch there, so we're happy to be here today. And what a day for Wytheville. What a day for Southwest Virginia, and what a day for the Commonwealth of Virginia. This is just, what you're going to hear about here shortly is just an incredible announcement, and it would be an incredible announcement for anywhere in the Commonwealth. And it didn't happen in a vacuum. It never happens in a vacuum. It takes a lot of hard work. And that's hard work at the state level, and I know we have our partners here from VEDP. Our MEI Commission was involved in this. It takes a lot of local work, and thank you, David, for wherever you are for the introduction. You lifted it. Oh, he's over there. And thank you for, David's been very involved with this. A lot of other local folks have been involved with it. Our Tobacco Commission, it's just the list goes on. And we have federal involvement in this particular project as well, for which we're very appreciative. In addition, we have tremendous, we engage on all economic development deals. Of course, we're working with companies, and in this situation, that is no different. Our various partners have worked closely with the company to bring this project to you today. However, the most important thing, in a lot of ways, is what kind of leadership we have at the top. And from day one, I've been blessed to work with a governor who's 100% committed to economic development in each and every region of this state. And it's been job creation, economic development, job creation, economic development. It's been a steady drumbeat. We're not talking about just the usual areas where you see a lot of development, Northern Virginia, Hampton Roads, Central Virginia. We're talking about all of Virginia. And I would tell you, I have a map that I'd be happy to share with you of where we've done projects, but the proof is in the pudding, particularly in some of our rural areas. In the last week, we've announced projects in Henry County involving a German company, in Rockingham County involving an Italian company, and then today's announcement right here in Wythe County, which is, you're going to hear more about it. It is a very, very significant project, again, for each and every one of us. And none of this would have happened, as I said, without the leadership of the governor that I've been honored and blessed to work for. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you our 73rd Governor of Virginia, Ralph Northam.
Well, good afternoon. And I'm glad we're on time because, as Brian said, we did stop in at Skeeter's and enjoy some of the local dining. But it is good to be back in Wythe County. One thing, Brian, I did notice when we were in Skeeter's, and he always loves to go in there, but Mark Warner, who preceded me by a couple governors, and now is our U.S. Senator, Morgan. You are well familiar with him. His picture is up on the shelf, and I think it's time we go in there and take that down. Maybe put some more up to date.
We'll let you all fight that one out.
Morgan, I thought you might be able to take that message back to Washington.
I will take it back to Washington if you wish for me to do so.
But it is great to be here, and just to really reiterate what Secretary Ball said. This is a really exciting announcement today, and I thank the folks at Blue Star, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But I especially want to thank all of you all. This is a team effort at the local level, at the state level, at the federal level, and we couldn't do it without everybody's participation. So you all have much to be proud of. These types of announcements do not happen in a vacuum. They happen because of people working together, at times perhaps putting our political differences aside and really doing what's in the best interest of the Commonwealth of Virginia and the best interest, in this case, of rural Virginia and Southwest Virginia. Morgan, I started off kidding about taking the messages, but in all seriousness, I appreciate you serving this area of the Commonwealth and all that you do in Washington. I know it's not an easy time up there. I guess never an easy time to be elected officials, but it's really the most important time that we have people that care about their constituents and care about their district. So Morgan, thank you. It's always good to see you. I miss you in Richmond, but I know you're doing great work in Washington. And from the 12th House of Delegates District, Chris Hurst, and you all probably don't know this, but Chris also serves on the Tobacco Commission, who played a large part in this announcement. So Chris, it's all about bringing jobs to Virginia, and I appreciate your efforts and enjoy working with you in Richmond as well. Brian mentioned really what our top priority is. There's no question about that. I think if you ask the average person out on the street what's most important to you, it would be to have a job that you can support yourself and your family with, and enjoy our great quality of life. And so Brian Ball, and we have folks from DEDP. I saw Vince Barnett here somewhere. They've done great work here. But Virginia is doing well. Despite COVID-19, our economy is strong. Brian is a very humble person, but we're getting ready to go through $50 billion with a B dollars of capital investment to the Commonwealth of Virginia in the last 3.5 years. What's $50 billion mean? Well, we don't like to, I guess, compare ourselves or compete with other governors or other administrations, but to mention Governor Warner, this $50 billion is over 3 times the amount that any other administration has brought into Virginia. Our surplus at the end of this year, for those of you that like to crunch numbers, is $2.6 billion. That's never happened before in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We were proud, as you all know, and this is a collective effort to be named not 1 year in a row, but 2, the best state in this country of ours in which to do business. And so these things happen because of everybody working together. And this is pertinent for today's announcement, because when I talk to businesses, and we literally travel around the world and talk to businesses that want to grow in Virginia and also those that want to come to Virginia, probably at the top of the list is our talented workforce. And this company that's we're announcing today is going to provide a lot of jobs. And so we pride ourselves in having good colleges and universities, especially one up in Lexington, Virginia, Virginia Military Institute. Didn't want you to confuse it with W&L. 23 great community colleges. We have what we call a talent accelerator program, which I think you're probably well aware of already, Scott, but we ask companies what type of employees and how many do you need, and then we are as nimble as we can, working with our community colleges. We had 23 of those, working with career and technical education at the high school level to provide employees. Because again, if you want to grow a business, and I am a business owner in Hampton Roads, you've got to have the employees, and you've got to have well-trained employees. So things are going well here. I want to tell you that I'm not from the Southwest, but I am from rural Virginia. And from the beginning of our administration, I've said we want to promote the economy, but we want to lift up all of Virginia. And we've done a number of things, and again, it's collective efforts, but we're expanding I-81. You all know how well-traveled that is, especially with trucks, but putting over $2 billion into I-81, the Coalfield Expressway, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with. We're getting ready to close the loop on that. Bringing rail, I know Congressman Griffith was with me in Christiansburg, bringing rail out to Christiansburg and Blacksburg, and then hopefully out to Bristol. And then something that has been a pet peeve of mine, just like electrification was back in the early 1900s. Today, in 2021, universal broadband is a necessity, and we have invested record amounts this year to the tune of $700 million to make sure that everybody in Virginia, especially rural Virginia, has access to broadband, and we'll have that in place by 2024. So things are going well. So now for the announcement of today. And you all need to perk up and open your ears and your eyes for this announcement. But Blue Star, who will be making nitrile gloves, and I'm going to touch on that in just a second. They are investing $714 million. I'm going to repeat that. $714 million right here in Wythe County, and will employ, listen to this, 2,464. I'll repeat that too, because it's almost like, are you sure you've got the right numbers here? 2,464 jobs right here in Wythe County. I can take a cue fairly well, so like you clapping, that means you can take your seat. But let me just put this in perspective, and not only is this jobs. I mean, when you think about people that can have a job that can support themselves and their families and enjoy this great quality of life, and I am very sensitive to this, being from the Eastern Shore. And listen to what I just said, I'm from the Eastern Shore. And you hear people say, I'm from the Southwest. But what we want to hear is that I live on the Eastern Shore, or I live in the Southwest, I have a good paying job, and I'm raising my family and enjoying the great quality of life. So we want to hear less about I'm from somewhere, and we want to hear this is where I live. And 2,500 new jobs in Wythe County, there will be people that will call this place their home. But the other point I wanted to just make very quickly, and then I will take my seat. You know, one of the issues, and we've been at COVID-19 for 18 months, but who's counting? But from the start, we didn't have enough PPE. Remember PPE, personal protective equipment? Governors were literally competing with each other, governors around this country, trying to find gloves, masks, gowns for frontline workers. We were getting it from places like China, Thailand, Malaysia, and you didn't know, one, if you were getting it, or two, what you were getting. And so the point of my comment is that won't it be nice that Americans can have jobs that produce products that we use in this country, and we don't have to go to China to get face masks and gloves. So this company is going to make millions of gloves, nitrile gloves, latex-free gloves that people use on a daily basis, and we will be able to produce them right here in Virginia and have them as needed as we move forward. So this is just an exciting day for Virginia, an exciting day for Wythe County and Wythe Field. And Scott, if you could just join me up here at the podium for just a second. This is just a token of our appreciation. This is a Virginia flag that we have flown proudly. If I can get it open. It's a trick to this, but we've flown over the Capitol in Richmond, and we certainly hope that you all can find a place to display it as well. But this is all about relationships for us, and we appreciate the relationship with Blue Star, and anything that we can do to help your company grow here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, we're here for you. So congratulations and best luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. Yes, it's an exciting day for our company. I guess our company's journey started about 4 years ago when our chairman, who had spent his entire career in the nitrile glove market, was semi-retired and wanted to know if it was kind of feasible to bring production back to the United States. And he started to bring the team together, and they started doing research, and they discovered that it was. And they kind of kept at it, and unfortunately it took a pandemic for everything to fall in place and get to the point where we're at today. We're able to announce that we're going to be opening our nitrile factory and our glove facility here in Virginia. Yeah, it's especially a big day for our chairman. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here today, but he's, like I said, he's been in the industry his entire career. He was actually part of the company that invented the nitrile glove, which was right here in the U.S. It was actually invented for the computer chip market, and after a couple of years, they realized there was a use for it on the medical side as well. And he was a kind of key player in developing the glove market for hospitals. And he watched it expand in the U.S. and being made here, and then unfortunately it went to the Far East. And now he's extremely proud to have it come full circle and come back to the United States. As our company was looking for a place to call home, we looked at a couple of different states, but Virginia we found was had the most to offer. I started a journey here about 6 years ago with another company in the Southwest region. Discovered that just how great the employees and the workforce there are. Helped another gentleman start another company called Main 5, which is a small sewing factory in Southwest Virginia as well. And now we're doing this much larger project, and we were very happy to kind of find another place in Southwest Virginia to put this very large project. Our partner, American Glove Innovations, is bringing kind of the next generation manufacturing equipment, and for us as a company, we're looking at a 20-year horizon. We want to be here for a long time, and this is a true kind of public-private partnership where we've had so many resources from the federal, state, and the local level have all come together to make this project possible. And we're just very excited to kind of actually get to work, break ground, and start hiring our 2,500 employees. Just again want to thank the Commonwealth of Virginia. Especially wanted to thank BEDP, who's been instrumental in kind of bringing all of the resources together to get where we are today, and Andy Brazow, and especially the JIDA for kind of welcoming our company and kind of keeping Lot 24, its jewel, open for this project to call home. And thank you, David Manley, for having that vision and keeping it there, and we're glad we were able to find it. So thank you.
Wow. Earlier, the governor arrived. I tried to get him to make a little wager about trying to find a happier person in the Commonwealth of Virginia than me, and he wouldn't take me up on it. On behalf of the Wythe County Board of Supervisors, it's my honor to welcome Blue Star NBR and Blue Star AGI to Wythe County, and specifically to Lot 24. Lot 24 was a dream that started more than 2 decades ago by several former board of supervisors members, some of who sadly are no longer with us to see this dream become a reality today. Throughout the years and despite changes in leadership, this dream has always remained. The dream that a large prepared site with the necessary infrastructure in place would give Wythe County a competitive advantage. It is only through collaboration with the town of Whitefield, the town of Blue Retreat, our neighboring counties, our own JIDA authority, and the great Commonwealth of Virginia that we are gathered here today. Today we welcome a manufacturer that will provide over 2,400 high-quality, high-paying jobs for our dedicated and skilled workforce. And equally important, we welcome a manufacturer that believes not only in Wythe County, but in Southwest Virginia. I'd be remiss if I didn't personally thank the following folks while I'm up here: my fellow board members, Wythe County Administrator Stephen Barrett, Assistant County Administrator Matt Hankins, County Attorney Scott Farley, once again JIDA Executive Director David Manley and his very small staff, and last but not least, my wife. I appreciate her putting up with me for 4 years. Late meetings, weekend phone calls. We done it. We sold lot 24. I only got 2 minutes and they're shocked. But in closing, welcome to Wythe County, Blue Star. Let's do great things together.
Good afternoon, I'm David Kaus, and I want to thank David Manley for inviting me to say a few words during this historic announcement. The JIDA has been at a very high level since May on this project. Multiple calls, multiple meetings. That was the most everyday activities. But Mr. Manley and his team, John Matthews and Jessica DeHart, really delivered for the county of Wythe and also for the Commonwealth of Virginia. The citizens should be grateful for the work that has been done. We've had a quite successful run at the Joint IDA, and we want to see that continue. We've been able to bring industrial economic growth to the Wythe County, and we've helped existing businesses grow and expand. So I want to recognize the JIDA board, Vice Chairman Wes May, Treasurer David Carpenter, board members Matt Clark, Jeff Lucas, Michael Cole, and Dickie Morgan. And I think with Governor Northam being here today, it really highlights the fact that Southwest Virginia is open for business. And with that in mind, the JIDA is here for the long haul. And we want to see more of this opportunity because we do have available lots in Progress Park, so we have more to go. But the Joint IDA has been blessed to work with the Board of Supervisors, the town councils of both Rural Retreat and Wytheville, and we've had a long-standing partnership with a lot of different organizations, such as the BEDP, VIA. We appreciate what's going on, and also our ability to work with Stephen Barrett at the county, as our county administrator. Project Palm has exceeded our expectations while achieving our goal of filling Lot 24 in Progress Park. There is wind in our sails, and we look forward to the future of much more industrial growth in Wythe County. Thank you, Governor, for coming for this historic announcement. It's really happy, and for the citizens of Wythe County, we'll all be grateful for the new business, the new opportunity, and what it'll all bring for our county. So thank you.
And thank you for inviting me to speak as well. I'm Morgan Griffith. I'm your congressman, if anybody doesn't know. I just want everybody to stand up who was named at the previous two speakers' comments, the Board of Supervisors members, the IDA, or the, make sure I get the name right, the Joint Industrial Development Authority. Thank you all so much for all of your hard work. One of the campaign promises I made when I first ran for Congress was I wasn't going to take credit for something I didn't do. And while there is some defense money in this, this has been mostly local and state working hard, showcasing Southwest Virginia, making sure that we know what's going on. And I'm here to tell you how thankful I am for the governor and Brian Ball. This is, because they were talking earlier about the competition between the various governors, this is the largest economic development announcement made in my 11 years in public office, including other Democrat governor and another Republican governor. This is the biggest one ever. Thank you very much for your hard work. I gotta tell you, I am so thrilled and happy for Wythe County and the whole Central Appalachian region. And I know, Brian, you must be thrilled and happy too. It's got to be one of those days that you will never forget.
Great day.
I don't think I'm ever going to forget it. And this will be huge for all of those people who love Southwest Virginia. And as you said, Governor, not only want to be from Southwest Virginia, but want to live in Southwest Virginia. This is an historic day. And I do have to give you a little bit of grief, Governor. You mentioned that what great educational opportunities we have, and we do. And you mentioned VMI. I graduated from law school at W&L, and I went to Emory and Henry. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention all those great folks at Virginia Tech and in Radford and in King and in Bluefield, and our fabulous community college system that runs up and down and all through Southwest Virginia. So I want to give them all a big shout out too, because they're now going to have people they can have being recruited by Blue Star, and we appreciate it. I just have to say how great it is. Now we've got some defense stuff working. That's great. I was telling them about Scott and Victor earlier about I've been working on an amendment. This is across the aisle. This is not a Republican versus Democrat thing. To have HHS, Health and Human Services, buy all of their PPE made in the USA, because we have a number. Of folks who make some really good masks all up and down the 9th District. We have a company that makes the fabric for N95 masks in Floyd, but they're having trouble with Chinese and other companies from other parts of the world just bringing their product over here and selling it for pennies on the dollar in order to keep competition down. And it's one of the reasons why I'm so excited that you all, Scott and Victor and others, have chosen Southwest Virginia in particular, but have chosen to bring nitrile glove manufacturing back to the United States. Thank you so much, and may God continue to bless Southwest Virginia and the United States of America.
Much appreciation to my colleague, Delegate Hurst, for reminding me I'm next on the agenda, apparently. Good afternoon. My name is Delegate Jeff Campbell. I'm the very fortunate guy that gets to represent Wythe County in the House of Delegates. I hope it remains that way. We're going through redistricting right now. A lot of you might have been paying attention. And we're losing a seat in Southwest. And the reason we're losing a seat is because of what's known as rural flight. We're seeing a lot of young people leave out of the area looking for, believe it or not, jobs. And so that brings me to my point, and I would want to say thank you to Scott, to Victor, Blue Star, and the Board of Directors, certainly for making the decision to locate here, because quite frankly, that comes down to the company decision, doesn't it? I mean, we all certainly work very hard to try to make sure that the climate is hospitable to them, but ultimately it's a company decision. And so on behalf of the House, certainly I want to say thank you. Learned in the hallway, by the way, that Scott is a former resident, grew up in Manhattan, in New York, and as a lifelong New York Yankees fan, who happened to make the playoffs. They barely beat Tampa Bay yesterday. They squeaked in the playoffs. I hope you're a Yankees fan as well, Scott. But it's good to have you all here. I know that this is a huge announcement for Southwest Virginia, not just Wythe County, but Southwest Virginia. 2,500 jobs. I've been in this locally or on the state level now since 1998. I've been in office. And I don't know how many of these announcements I've attended over the years, but this is, to my recollection, the largest one I can ever remember. 2,500 jobs, an enormous amount of capital investment. It's a game changer, quite frankly, for Southwest. And I hope and pray that with the success that's going to come from this company and other companies that will no doubt spring up to try to help provide and assist collaterally Blue Star, that we will see some of those individuals that have been fleeing rural Virginia come back. And maybe in 10 years, that House seat can come back to Southwest. Thank you all for allowing me this opportunity to be here. And it's my privilege, I think, now to introduce my colleague, Delegate Chris Hurst, who represents the 12th House District, which is just next door. And he is on the Tobacco Commission and was instrumental in helping bring this project here today. So Chris, would you come forward?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Chris Hurst. I am your neighbor. I live in Radford with my partner Emily. We bought a house in May. She is an ER nurse at Lewis Gale in Salem. And so we have definitely seen a huge, tremendous value from, I think, also to a better public adoption of things that we can all do to just stop the spread of germs, just generally. And I gotta tell you, as someone who's now facing all of this, again, negative campaigning that we're dealing with in the middle of an election cycle, governor, congressman, you got, Jeff, I think only one time for you, Jeff. So thankfully, he didn't have to really go through that. So when I go to the grocery store now, this is a perfect way for me to be able to just not have to see anybody who might think that I'm a terrible person now. But so it's all about the fact that I don't think that nitrile gloves are going anyway. And my TV friends in the back now, make sure the anchors know how to pronounce it too. So now everybody needs to know nitrile for anybody who is doubting that. So this is going to be an incredible market for you all to get into. So not only are we talking about an incredible announcement, but also one that we know is going to be lasting. One that's going to be lasting, for many decades to come. As a member of the Tobacco Commission and chair of the Southwest Committee, I was really pleased to be a part of an effort to get more than $1 million for incentives to make this project happen, and in particular to Progress Park, having more than $3 million from the Tobacco Commission over the years to help with site development and site readiness and to get us to this point, I just think is a testament to the vision that we have had here now for a good 20 years, and really is emblematic with Virginia EDP 2 of site development and site readiness as one of the main things that we need to continue to work on. I think that this is really something that is going to be foundational for, as Jeff was saying, the new Southwest Virginia, where we are coming into, I think, an incredible renaissance for this wonderful area. And what is going well in Radford is helping Wythe County, and certainly what is going to be happening in Wythe County is going to help Radford at all points in this wonderful community we call home. I will say finally that I was talking with David as we came in, and I, as many politicians do when we have to be professional chit-chatters, hey David, what's going on? What do you got coming up next? What's next? What's next? And then I said, well, that's a stupid question to ask. Let's talk about now. Now is a huge day to celebrate, and that's what David said too. Let's talk about today. Let's be thankful for today. And let's all be proud of ourselves, because we came up with the solution on how to make sure that our children and grandchildren stay here after they get their education. You all came up with the solution yourself. So enjoy today and enjoy right now, because it's a great day to be in the county of Wythe. Thank you all very much. Ladies and gentlemen, and David, please,
Thank you very much to our roster of impressive speakers this afternoon. I appreciate all the kind words you have for our community. I do want to share a fun fact with you. One thing that we learned early on during some economic modeling for this project, you've heard a lot about the demographic decline in our part of Virginia and in rural America generally. This project has the potential to reverse the population decline we saw over the past decade. That's remarkable in and of itself. So let's hope that happens and that we can return to prosperity here in Southwest Virginia. Progress Park and its Lot 24 were built with vision and courage. Those that made these investments, starting with the Wythe County Board of Supervisors beginning over 2 decades ago, through the current Board of Supervisors, deserve substantial credit for enabling projects like Blue Star NBR and Blue Star AGI. Continued investments in ready sites by forward-thinking communities allow for the success like we celebrate today. We all know these projects don't happen in a vacuum, as you heard several times before. That's apparently an economic development cliche, but they're not for any one reason either. Without the investment taken on by Wythe County and its partners at the Commonwealth and Tobacco Commission, this project would never have been in play. Before I close, I need to mention 2 things. There are beverages down there and freshly baked snacks, so please avail yourself of those before you go. I do want to mention 2 people that I work with that really make my life a lot easier, John Matthews and Jessica DeHart. They keep our work and our organization ever moving forward. I'm also fortunate to work for a board that's involved and engaged in the work that we do. They ask all the right questions on behalf of the citizens we represent. Special thanks to those at BDP that were tenacious and methodical in bringing this project to the Commonwealth, especially our frequently convened work group. The efforts were remarkable, especially those of the project's business investment manager, Pandy Brazo, and BDP's Vice President, President Jordan Snelling. Thank you to Stephen Baer, the Wythe County Administrator, for the many hours he and his team spent on this, as well as to Brian Freeman, Wytheville's Town Manager, for supporting the project as well. I'm letting out bunches of names, so forgive me if I didn't, and I named them all. We'll be here all afternoon. In closing, I want to commend the Blue Star team I've come to work with so closely over the past several months. Scott Mayer, Vic Galati, and Bill Smith, thank you for being good partners with us so far. I look forward to many years of continued prosperity with your company as well. On behalf of all the citizens of Wythe County, I thank you for joining us today, and everyone have a great afternoon.